All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a Warrior video. Man, what a game Friday night between the Warriors and OKC. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Get the brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And also, this video brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is awesome. They give fans a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. You can check out their weekly pick'em players, where you pick between 2 to 5 players and select whether they'll go higher or lower on their game stats, and you can win 20 times your money. Now, this week, I'm going with Kadarius Toney. I'm going Dolphins Chiefs. Kadarius Toney higher than 9.5 receiving yards. Tyreek Hill higher than 7 receptions. Travis Kelce higher than a half a rushing or receiving touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco higher than 56.5 rushing yards. And Patrick Mahomes higher than 285.5 passing yards. You can enter the same as me, or you can make your own picks. Sign up using that link in the description. Use that promo code Krug, and they'll match you up to $100. All right, let's talk about Warriors and OKC on Friday night. What a game. What a game. Man, NBA is starting their inaugural in-season tournament, and I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about it. The players are making more money. The coaches are making more money. The fans are just supposed to watch because, wow, it's awesome. But the fans don't get anything out of it, really. But if the players play harder, if there's more juice on the line, maybe people, maybe this is a win for the fans as well. But Steph Curry was awesome last night. He scored 30 points. He had the game-winning layup with 0.2 seconds left, and the Warriors beat the Thunder 141 to 139. And basically, initially, Curry's final shot was ruled no good because of what they thought was offensive goaltending against Draymond Green, and because he had touched the net, or he had touched the rim and affected the net. But then when they looked at it again, they saw that Josh Giddey had also touched the net, and he had touched the net first. So the call of goaltending was overturned, and that was with 0.2 on the clock. So the Warriors held on, got the victory. Green said the call was overturned because he touched the rim and not the ball. The Thunder's coach also said that that was the explanation that was given. It's funny. And then Green said afterwards, he likes the tournament. He says, you just saw 2 teams competing. We talk about the in-season tournament, and it's a playoff game. It was a fun game to play, and intensity level is there. So job well done to the NBA having this type of excitement in November, because there's some dark days in November, but games like this, you can appreciate them. Here's what happened on the tournament as far as why did they create this whole in-season tournament. There's opening night. People get excited beginning of the season, but that's only for the hardcore. Many of the casual NBA fans view Christmas as kind of the unofficial opening night. And there's not a lot of reason to watch NBA basketball between opening night at the end of October and Christmas. And so the NBA is just trying to juice up these 2 months here and get a few more eyeballs on their November and December slate pre-Christmas, so they can kind of defeat that whole idea that the season doesn't really start until Christmas. Heck, some people would argue the season doesn't even start until the playoffs roll around. But, the NBA wants more energy and more quality games, and so they created this tournament idea. And it's a little bogus, to be completely honest, but they changed up the courts, the look of the court, and they're saying it's a tournament, and they're going, when are they doing it? They're doing it on Friday nights and Tuesday nights, trying to go in the 2 nights of the week where the NFL doesn't have the whole audience commandeered. And so that's the game plan. NFL owns Sunday, NFL owns Monday. Later in the year, they also own Thursday and Saturday. And so they're like, hey, where can we get in here and maybe start to own something ourselves? So NBA is going to try to own Tuesday nights and Friday nights, and they're doing it by having this inaugural in-season tournament. And I'll say this, if last night was any indication, we'll see, but there was good intensity in the game. There really was. And Lou Dort had 29 points. He made all 6 of his 3-point attempts. Chet Holmgren, the skinny man, The former Gonzaga star had 24 points on 7 of 9 shooting. Josh Giddey took the game over in the fourth quarter. I thought he was going to lead the Thunder to victory. He had 14 of his 18 in the fourth quarter. Thunder were playing without their leading scorer, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He's out with a sprained left knee. The Warriors hit 7 threes in that first quarter. They took a 38-33 lead. Dario Saric scored 11 points in that first period. And there was also a great highlight in this game. Curry threw a no-look lob from beyond the three-point line to Gary Payton, who did a reverse jam that gave the Warriors a 50-44 lead. Warriors hit 6 threes in that second quarter, and they led by 2 at halftime. Klay Thompson's leaning three-pointer at the buzzer that would have made it a 5-point lead was called no good on the floor, and that ruling held up when they looked at it in review. And then, it was funny. Lou Dort scored 11 points in just over 4 minutes at the start of the third quarter to give the Thunder a 5-point lead, but the Warriors rallied and kept the game close, and the game was tied at 106 heading to the fourth quarter. Isaiah Joe could flat out shoot it, the former Arkansas Razorback. He hit a three-pointer and was fouled with 9:15 to go and made the free throw, and the Thunder had an 118-115 lead. And then the game was close the rest of the way. And you thought, man, OKC is going to find a way to close this out. But no, the Warriors get the win. And it was a fun game to watch. And Golden State wins at 141-139. Golden State improves to 5-1. And just, a fun game. I mean, as I said, Giddey got hot in the fourth quarter, and you think, man, he's going to take this thing over. But the Warriors were resilient, and they played an incredible ball. And, a couple guys really stood out. One, Draymond Green, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, hit a couple threes early on. Andrew Wiggins had 17 points and 5 rebounds. Jonathan Kuminga had an incredible second half. I think he was like 17 of his 19 came in the second half. And the Warriors are deeper. The Warriors are just flat out deeper than they were last year. And it showed in this game. Their bench outscored the Thunder's bench by 20, 57-37. But, man, it was all Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, just the beautiful floater over Chet Holmgren for the game winner. Klay was efficient. The one thing about Klay Thompson, he's a volume shooter in some games. He had 18, but 18 on 6 of 10 field goals. So he was good. Saric had 20 points and 6 rebounds off the bench. Another guy for Golden State that's been absolutely awesome is Chris Paul. Chris Paul had 1 point. He's not doing anything offensively with his scoring. He's not shooting the ball well. He had 1 point. He had 2 rebounds, but he makes a lot of good plays and he makes other people better. And he had 13 assists. 13 assists. So, I mean, Golden State gets their 4th straight road win. I don't believe they won their 4th straight on the road last year until almost Valentine's Day. Gary Payton had 9 points. He's looking good. He's in healthy shape for the first time in a while. The Warriors defense forced OKC into 19 turnovers. And Golden State held their own on the glass. They were +6 on the glass. So Jalen Williams, a good young player. I'll tell you, this OKC Thunder team has some good young players. Lou Dort, Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Joe. I mean, they're going to beat a number of teams this year. They're going to win a lot of games. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be some champion, but this is a very underrated basketball team for sure. And the Warriors beat them. So good win for Golden State. They host Minnesota on November 14th in the next in-season tournament game. And they play again tomorrow in Cleveland. The Warriors were on the road for 4 games. They were home for 1, and now they're on the road for four games. And the first being Friday night, and now Sunday is game 2 of the trip, and they'll be in Cleveland. Thunder are going to be up next again in the tournament against Sacramento in Sacramento, but they'll host Atlanta on Monday in a regular season game. But good win for Golden State. And the things that stand out in this game more than anything, one, the addition of Chris Paul has really helped Steph Curry. It's freed up Steph Curry. Steph Curry doesn't have to bring the ball up against pressure for 4 quarters. He can lean on Chris Paul. He doesn't have to make every play and create everything for everybody. Chris Paul can do that. And his 13 assists are a perfect example of that. If the Warriors can get, a good, solid performance from CP3 as an assist guy, and Klay Thompson can be efficient. He had 18, but it wasn't just, he's had some nights where he's had 18. He was terribly inefficient. He had 18 on 6 of 10 field goals. If the Warriors can continue to get the kind of bench scoring they get, 57-37, the Warrior bench outscored the Thunder bench by 20. And then if they can get a little something out of Kuminga and or Moody, and last night they got 19 out of Kuminga with a big second half, they're going to win a lot of games. They're just going to win a lot of games. So Golden State, at the beginning of the year, I thought Golden State was going to be a 6 seed that, if things broke wrong, they could even miss the playoffs. Now I look at them and I think, you know what? With Chris Paul and their good chemistry and their added depth and what it's done to free up Steph, and Klay looks better, a little bit more adjusted coming off the injury. Draymond Green's in the right frame of mind. They've got a really good vibe about the team. A lot of guys who know how to play basketball. I would say the Warriors could be a top 3 seed. And if things don't go well later in the year and they have injuries, maybe they'll fall down to 6 or 7. But they're a definite playoff team now in my mind, and there may be a top 3 seed in the West. And do they have a shot at the title? I guess if, Denver and some of the best teams in the conference somehow, whatever, either grow apart or have injuries and Golden State has the right trip. You never know. Weirder things have happened than this Golden State team going back to the finals. I still think it's a long shot. But, man, after watching them in the early part of the year in the first 6 games, they got a lot of good things going on. They really do. Klay's in a proper frame of mind. Green seems like he's in the proper frame of mind. They're far deeper than they used to be. In this game, Trace Jackson-Davis and Brandon Podziemski weren't even there. They were in Santa Cruz playing with the Santa Cruz Warriors, just getting run down in the G League. So, that's 2 more players that they can utilize. And those guys are going to play good minutes at times this year. But the addition of Saric, the addition of CP3, Steve Kerr says the addition of Corey Joseph is very vital. And the Warriors can hold their own. They can extend leads while Steph's on the bench and hold their own as far as points in the paint and on the glass. Golden State's going to win a lot of games. To me, they look like a 50-win team that's going to be a 3 seed or a 4 seed. And if they have some injuries that hit them as the year goes on, maybe they're a 6 seed or a 7 seed. But they're going to the playoffs, and they'll be heard from in the playoffs, and they got a great win on Friday night. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy. And once again, check that link in the description. Use the promo code Krug at Underdog Fantasy, and they will match you up to $100. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.